You're watching KCRG TV-9. Now, from your 24-hour news source, this is KCRG TV-9 News at 6.
Coming up on the KCRG TV-9 News at 6, keeping a memory alive. A Cedar Rapids couple gives back to rescue workers after they helped find their grandson's body. We'll show you their efforts. Pop-up time check, how some students are working to revitalize a neighborhood still touched by the flood of 2008, if only for the day. But first, we start off with this. Waterloo police are looking for a man from an armed robbery earlier this morning. Police say at about 5 a.m., a man entered a Quick Star on the city's east side and pulled out a gun. The man then demanded money from the register as well as cigarettes. It happened at the Quick Star at 707 Broadway Street. That is at the corner of Broadway and Conger Streets. Investigators say the man ran off after taking the cash. These are photos of the suspect from the crime. Waterloo police are asking for any help to identify this man. Anyone with information on the suspect is asked to call the Waterloo Police Department. Here's that phone number. It's 319-291-4333. There is a cash reward for any information that leads to an arrest. Also from Waterloo, a stray spark from a welding torch started a fire last night. This fire happening just before 10 at 511 Cutler Street in Waterloo. Firefighters said the fire started when a spark from the torch caught some cardboard leading to the fire. The owner tried to put the fire out but was forced out of the building due to smoke. Firefighters contained the fire to just the basement. The rest of the house, though, took on severe damage. Some rain moving into eastern Iowa tonight. We'll now bring in meteorologist Charlene Malin for the first alert forecast.
And there is some rain showing up on live First Alert Pinpoint Doppler radar. No reports of any of this hitting the ground, but I wouldn't rule out just a few sprinkles, especially across our far southwestern communities. Marshalltown could be seeing a few sprinkles. Same with Belle Plaine into the Williamsburg area. Kelowna, maybe just a couple of stray raindrops. Fairfield, same thing, just a few stray raindrops here and there. Again, no official reports of this hitting the ground. That's not going to be the case as we head into later tonight. If we put this into motion, those showers are making their way off to the east. More rain is on the way over the next couple of days. Our Washington City Cam shows the clouds rolling in. 52 degrees, your current temperature. It's 42 in Prairie du Chien, so a fairly large spread in temperatures across the area. By later on tonight, we're all going to be back down into the low 40s, right around 40 degrees as we head toward early tomorrow morning. That chance for showers starts early. You may want to grab that umbrella for tomorrow. All the details to your forecast, including a look at that rain, coming up in just a few minutes. Chris?
Thank you for the update, Charlene. We're at nearly 5 years since the flood of 2008 left behind so much damage in the time check neighborhood of Cedar Rapids. Yet on this day, a group of college students from Iowa State offered their design expertise on how to liven up some of the empty spaces that populate the area. The goal here was to show there's still plenty of life out there, kids playing, parents enjoying the day. And the turnout was actually fairly good amid the music on a chilly day. The students set up nearly a dozen pop-up designs throughout the area. Designs ranging from frisbee golf to giant blocks for kids to climb on. Also plenty of music. The designs were potential land use solutions for this rather empty area, at least some pockets of it. The official name is Pop-Up Urbanism. This was a small-scale example of it, though. The event wraps up in a couple of hours, and one Cedar Rapids City Council member said it's an activity that's great on so many levels.
And it's a tremendous learning experience for the students from Iowa State and the College of Design, and gives them a firsthand way to participate in an actual recovery of a neighborhood versus a theoretical project that they have in their class.
Coming up tonight in the KCRG TV-9 News at 10, our Mark Carlson will take all of us inside this event. He was there for a plenty long time today, so that's coming up tonight on the TV-9 News at 10. Another Cedar Rapids neighborhood battling back from the flood of 2008 will enjoy some political star power soon. Former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright will visit the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library. That's coming up on May 17th and 18th. She was the Secretary of State from 1997 to 2001. Secretary Albright has strong Czech lineage. She was born in Prague, and she came to America as a 10-year-old girl with her parents after communism from the Soviet Union started its 4-decade-long control of Czechoslovakia in 1948. The museum and library will hold an exhibit on Albright from May through October. More than a year after upheaval at the University of Northern Iowa over millions of dollars in budget cuts, two members of the State Board of Regents say it could have been handled in a different manner. Regents President Craig Lang and President Pro Tem Bruce Rastetter spoke in Iowa City at the American Association of University Professors Iowa Conference. This comes as Lang's term on the Regents ends in 3 weeks after the state Senate declined to confirm the governor's reappointment of Lang. Lang, though, said he feels positive about his time on the board with 2 years as president. even as he will soon depart. Waterloo officials want to demolish an unused school building, but say it's too expensive to knock it down. Lafayette Elementary School opened back in 1912. It's been closed since 1973. Workers cannot enter and check the building for asbestos because there are concerns they might fall through the floors. That means contractors have to handle all materials in the building as if they have to handle asbestos, and that drives up the cost. Waterloo Mayor Buck Clark is concerned that a $500,000 price tag would use up all the money marked for demolition. 2nd District Congressman Dave Loebsack announced today that he will be donating part of his salary back to state charities. Mandatory federal cuts of sequestration are making federal workers take furloughs. Loebsack said that he will donate a day's worth of his salary for every day that the Rock Island Arsenal is furloughed. The money will go to charities to support Iowa families. Can you have a patent on human genes? The U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments on Monday to determine if you can. The question they will be trying to answer is this: can a company own a portion of DNA in the human body? Some cancer researchers say they cannot perform studies because another company holds a patent on some naturally occurring proteins. An area of East Dubuque, Illinois is under a boil order tonight. Officials there asking those living in the Frentress Lake Water Tower area to boil any drinking water until further notice. They have not said publicly what is causing the boil order. A Cedar Rapids couple is trying to find the positive in a tragedy that took their grandson. A K-9 search team found 11-year-old Jonathan Ramsey's remains outside of Dallas, Texas about a year ago. Hundreds of miles away here, the boy's grandparents are now raising money to help those who respond during these tense and sometimes tragic situations. KCRG TV-9's Nadia Crow shares their story.
Radio control aircraft flyers from all over the Midwest landed at the Eastern Iowa Sports Complex in Hiawatha Saturday morning to raise up the hopes of this couple, still trying to cope with the loss of their grandson. 11-year-old Jonathan Lloyd Ramsey's father admitted to starving him to death sometime between March and August of 2011.
My ex-son-in-law put his body in a sleeping bag and threw him out in the Dallas countryside.
Jerry Sievers and his dog Gypsy found J.L. Ramsey's remains last year. A moment of closure for Ramsey's family after the boy went missing months before the discovery. Now Lloyd and Starla Swanson want to help search and rescue crews in memory of their grandson.
I looked at it as a chance to try and build the legacy that he could not.
Disaster Dogs of Iowa K-9 search specialist Scott Hofstadter jumped at the chance to collect the proceeds from the flying event. A life-altering task to find life or remains cost an incalculable amount.
Approaches the 5-figure number because there's a lot of travel, wear and tear on the vehicles, time away from the family.
A true labor of love with highly skilled dogs to go into situations most people even dread about thinking. This Texas K-9 search and rescue team did just that to find JL. Now his grandparents raise money to keep Iowa teams on the ground and searching.
All I can do going forward is praying that when the search and rescue dogs are called out, that they're doing search and rescue, that they are not doing search and recover.
In Hiawatha, Nadia Crow, KCRG TV-9 News.
The Swansons are hoping to raise a couple of $1,000s for the Disaster Dogs of Iowa. Ramsey's father and stepmother are both charged with felony injury to a child after the boy's father admitted to starving him. Jury selection for Aaron Ramsey's trial started in early March. A polar plunge during this time of the year can be hit or miss. You hope it might be refreshing, but you also know that the gales of April like today can underscore the Arctic feel. When we come back, take a look at how people are plunging for those who may have some special needs. Plus, the annual April tradition like no other. Golf fans in Eastern Iowa watching to see if Zach Johnson makes a run at the Masters to slip on green jacket number 2. More in his third round from Josh. Stay here with KCRG TV-9.
I plunged today. It was real refreshing. The water was ice cold.
Spring is here, but so are cold mornings like today. More than 300 people clenching their teeth, jumping in at the Coralville Lake. All part of the annual Polar Plunge there to raise money for the Iowa City Special Olympics. To earn the right to jump into the frigid water, each person raised at least $75. The altogether tally more than $50,000 for Special Olympics. Air temperature about 40 degrees with those harsh winds.
We were a little concerned having it in April. We traditionally have it in March, that it might be a solar plunge today, but believe me, it was a polar plunge.
So cold even made the video freeze. The plungers jumped in teams, and those who did not want to brave the cold also raised their $75 to receive. Now this is pretty cool. T-shirts that say "To Chicken to Plunge." That money will stay in Iowa City for the March Olympics at the U of I Fieldhouse. 17,000 pounds of food shaped in all sorts of things like palm trees, houses, even some people. Teams gathering at the Lindale Mall today in Cedar Rapids to build can creations, all part of Construction. They started about 6:30 this morning. It's really early to be in a mall on a Saturday. They had about 5 hours to make anything that they could possibly think of out of non-perishable food items. By 10, all 15 teams had can creations to show off and display. The teams donating all of the cans and other food items to the Haycap Food Reservoir.
1 in 4 children and 1 in 5 adults in our area go hungry at least once a week. So with all of this food that's coming in is a great benefit for our community.
Some more of those numbers. Teams winding up donating more than 20,000 cans to Haycap. The can architecture was made up of school kids, volunteers, even some professional engineers offering their expertise on building. Another brisk start to the weekend before that sun poking through a little bit later on. We'll bring in meteorologist Charlene Malem with a look at what's ahead. Charlene.
And our highs today actually got into the 40s and 50s across eastern Iowa. Here's a look at what some of our spotters called in. 48 degrees your high in Denver, 52 is what you made it up to in Solon, and 54 was the top spot in Parnell. Tomorrow we get into the 60s, but some showers and thunderstorms are on the way. All the details coming up in your first alert forecast. Stay with your 24-hour news and weather source, KCRG TV-9.
Now the first alert forecast with meteorologist Charlene Malem.
Well, we got to enjoy some sunshine today, some relatively mild temperatures. They were a bit boosted from what we saw earlier in the past work week. We're going to be warming those temperatures up tomorrow, but also swapping some of that for some rain. Pinpoint Doppler radar does show a couple of sprinkles trying to get going, stretching across areas such as Marshalltown down toward the Washington area. No reports of any of this hitting the ground officially, but a couple of sprinkles certainly not out of the question. Most of us are just working on building in that cloud cover. Vinton CityCam does show some peaks of blue sky still out there, and that's pretty much area wide. As far as the temperatures are concerned, also area-wide 40s. 41 degrees in Dubuque is one of the cooler spots. 49 as you head toward Iowa City. 43 in Fayette and Vinton at 45 degrees. Winds have died down a bit, anywhere from about 5 to 10 miles an hour, generally from the northwest. These are going to be turning around, but also picking up as we head into tomorrow. Your wind forecast shows the winds dying down a bit overnight, but then picking up with a bit of a boost heading into tomorrow. 20 to 30 mile an hour winds certainly possible, but they're going to be from the south this time, and that's going to drop some of that nice warm air as our next frontal system moves across. We're going to get a bit of rain throughout the day on Sunday. More of that rain heads in late afternoon into the evening. That's as that cold front sweeps by. That's going to bring in some cooler conditions as we head into your Monday forecast. Satellite and radar shows the clouds just building in across eastern Iowa. The rain's still well off to the west, so we do have plenty of time. Most of that rain not even building in until after midnight. Pinpoint Futurecast, we've zoomed in across eastern Iowa, starting the clock 10 p.m. Just that broken cloud cover out there. After midnight, a few isolated showers here and there. In general, it's going to be fairly hit or miss throughout the day on Sunday. A couple isolated showers here and there. By noon, still seeing a couple scattered showers, but later on toward late afternoon into the evening, that's when that cold front moves through, producing a line of thunderstorms. Not looking at anything severe, but some gusty winds are possible throughout the evening. We are going to see another chance for a few light showers heading into the day on Monday. Your first alert forecast overnight tonight, right around 40 degrees expected. The winds dying down a bit and those showers arriving after midnight. We'll see them hit or miss throughout the day on Sunday, but that gives the temperatures a chance to warm up into the 60s. Coolest spot will be Decorah, upper 50s expected, 66 degrees for Iowa City, 64 for Cedar Rapids. Those showers and thunderstorms, most of those coming late afternoon into the evening. And then again, some hit or miss showers Monday, Tuesday, and again into Wednesday. I think Wednesday is the best chance to see more of that widespread rain. As far as how much we're expecting to pick up tomorrow night, we could see a half an inch to an inch. If you get under one of those heavier thunderstorms, could see up to 1.5 inches of rain, but that's just the start. More rain on the way next week, or the rest of the week. So we'll give you the full details to how much rain we're expecting through Wednesday tonight at 10. I
just keep telling myself this will make everything alive and beautiful, though, once we get through it.
It's already greening up, yeah.
All right, thank you, Charlene. Josh joins us now. Pretty decent Saturday for Zach Johnson, getting back in the proverbial golf horse.
Yeah, especially with it being 80 degrees down there. Zach struggled a little bit yesterday, but today he had a pretty good day. We got some highlights of the Masters and an interesting day starting with Tiger. We'll tell you about that coming up next on your 24-hour news source, KCRG TV-9. Well, day 3 of the Masters started with a penalty. Tiger Woods was penalized 2 strokes after his drop on the 15th hole yesterday. It ended up being an inaccurate scorecard, but Tiger was not disqualified. More on that in a bit. As for Cedar Rapids native Zach Johnson, he was hoping to bounce back after shooting a 76 yesterday. Fast forward to the 12th hole, par 3. Johnson with a nice approach. Watch this. It's going to land about 4 feet from the hole. Great chance for a birdie, and as they say in Happy Gilmore, just tap it in. Just tap it in. That's what Zach does. Birdies the hole, he would be even. 13th hole, par 5. Zach putting for another birdie, and it just misses left. He missed a great opportunity. He still made par. To the 15th hole, par 5, third shot. Look how far this thing rolls. Still rolling, still rolling, still rolling. Chris, I think you should make some popcorn. I think it'll be done by the time this ball stops rolling. Nice shot by Zach right there. It sets up another great chance for a birdie. Zach, though, would have to settle for par. He just misses again, but he still had a great day shooting a 71. Now, here are the results. Brant Snedeker and Angel Cabrera tied for first at -7. Tiger is tied for 7th, and Zach is tied for 18th. And speaking of Tiger, the competition committee was asked about the ruling on Tiger.
I can't really control what the perception might or might not be. All I can say is that unequivocally that this tournament is about integrity. Our founder, Bobby Jones, was about integrity. And if this had been John Smith, from wherever, that he would have gotten the same ruling. Because, again, it is the right ruling under these circumstances.
Well, John Smith, I don't think I saw him in the scorecard. The Iowa baseball team is hoping to put a winning streak together after beating Kansas State 6-1 yesterday. The last winning streak for the Hawkeyes was more than a month ago. Iowa, though, got off to a slow start. Center fielder Blair DeBoard hits a fly to center field, bringing 1 run in for the Wildcats. They are up 3-0 after the first inning. 2 innings later, it was DeBoard again. Sacrifice fly to center. The Hawks, they're going to collide with each other, but they still make the catch, but a runner will score. And 7-0 Kansas State right now halfway through the third. Hawks would have the bases loaded and a full count. Taylor Kaufman hits a single to center. 2 runs are going to score, but it's not enough. Kansas State wins it 11-4. Well, it felt like cross-country weather out there today, but that didn't stop the Draxton Steers Wilkinson Invitational from happening today at Kingston Stadium, track and field. Let's start with the girls' 3,000-meter run. Kennedy's Allison Culver led right out of the gate. She controlled throughout the entire run, finishing in 11 minutes, 2.76 seconds. Let's go to the boys' 4x800 relay. Linmar showed its speed in this race with a time of 8 minutes, 8.29 seconds. They won by almost 35 seconds. On to the girls' 4x800 relay. It would be Cedar Falls, finishing in a time of 9 minutes, 39.13 seconds. You see, everybody's bundled up out there. 110 shuttle hurdles, boys. Kennedy and Marion battling. Kennedy led at the start, but Marion comes right back on the final run to take first place in a time of 59.78 seconds. Then on the girls' side, this was all Cedar Rapids Jefferson. The Jayhawks, of course, they won 5 relays last week in their own invitational. They finished in a time of 1 minute, 0.90 seconds. High school boys soccer, City High at Xavier. We go to the 34th minute, scoreless game. Xavier gets on the board first. Isaac Frisch with a nice move, beats the goalie and taps it in for the goal. Saints take a 1-0 lead, but City High comes just a couple of minutes later. Fernando Pacheco, he puts on the moves, and he's going to make a goal right here. What a pretty goal that was. This would go into overtime. Pacheco, he's going to get a nice pass to Adam Nicholson, who hustles. Xavier goalkeeper Paul Caven trying to make a save, but Nicholson stays with the ball, and he boots it in for the winning goal. City High goes on to win 2-1. Iowa golf team hosting the Iowa Golf Invitational at Finkbine in Iowa City. Iowa State would be there also. Scott Fernandez on the 16th hole. He would hit his second shot about 10 feet from the hole and make the putt for birdie. Sinks it right there. Jumping ahead to 17, Nathan Yankovic crushes this tee shot. He's going to lay it on the green in 2 for the easy par. Watch this shot. That looks pretty right there, and he's going to sink it. Kansas leads after day 1. Hawkeyes are in second. Iowa State tied for 11th. Tournament continues tomorrow. Well, Mother Nature turned out to be the winners in today's scheduled rowing competition at Lake McBride. High winds this morning combined with dangerously cold water conditions forced Iowa to call its rowing regatta with Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Louisville shortly after the Hawk, Gopher, and Badger and Cardinal rowers tested the McBride waters. The teams were loading the shells back onto the carriers. This was to have been Iowa's only home meet this spring under new head coach Steve Pritzker.
Just unfortunately, our sport's an outdoor sport, so whether wind picks up and you get whitecaps, it just became unsafe. And obviously, you want the safety of the kids or the athletes first, and it just got to be a situation where the refs made the right decision and decided not to hold it.
Yeah. We were out there for like half an hour, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just freezing.
Good decision?
Yeah, very good. It was scary.
And we'll be right back. Keep it here on TV-9.
And there may be a couple of sprinkles out there this evening. More rain moves in after midnight. We're going to be looking at showers and thunderstorms on Sunday. Most of that coming late afternoon into the evening hours, but could see a hit or miss shower throughout the day Sunday.
Thanks for joining us here for the TV9 News at 6, all part of the delightful inconsistency of April weather. Do come on back tonight, we hope, for the KCRG TV9 News at 10. Until then, have a great Saturday night. Stay safe.